My brilliant students, listen carefully. I want to tell you a story. Not about someone famous, not about someone born with talent, but about a student just like you. A student who once believed he was not good enough. A student who tried, failed, and cried many nights thinking, maybe success isn't for me. But one day, something changed. He stopped chasing the result. He started focusing on the process. And that decision changed everything. Because the truth is simple. When you stop focusing on the result and start focusing on growth, success becomes your shadow. So, stay tuned till the end, my brilliant students. Because in the next few minutes, you'll discover the secret that can change your mindset, your results, and maybe even your entire life. Don't miss it. What you're about to hear could be the turning point of your journey. Part 1. The story begins. Meet Ryan, a quiet student who always sat in the last row of the classroom. He wasn't the one teachers noticed first. He wasn't the loud one, the confident one, or the one who always raised his hand. He was the kind of student who did his best silently. But somehow, life never seemed to reward his effort. Every time the teacher announced test results, Ryan's heart would start beating fast. He would sit there, fingers crossed, praying for a miracle. But when the papers were returned, his name was never among the top ones. He would lower his head, pretending not to care, even though deep down his heart felt heavy. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't careless. In fact, he often studied late at night, reading the same pages again and again until his eyes burned. But no matter how much he tried, the marks just wouldn't reflect his effort. It felt like running on a treadmill, working hard, but staying in the same place. He watched his classmates celebrating their success, high fives, smiles, applause, while he quietly packed his bag and walked home. His parents would ask, "How was your test, Ryan?" And he'd just smile weakly and say, "It was okay," hiding the storm inside him. One afternoon, when the classroom was almost empty, his teacher noticed him sitting alone, staring at his notebook. She walked up and said softly, "Ryan, why do you look so sad?" He hesitated for a moment, then whispered, "Ma'am, I study hard, but I never get good results. Maybe I'm just not made for success." The teacher smiled gently, looked into his eyes, and said something that Ryan would remember for the rest of his life. She said, "Ryan, stop chasing the result. Start loving the process. The result is not your goal. Growth is." For a moment, Ryan didn't understand. How could he stop caring about results? That's what everyone cared about. Marks, grades, ranks, scores. But something about those words stayed with him. They struck his heart like lightning. He didn't fully understand them yet, but he felt something powerful awaken inside him. A small spark of hope, a tiny voice whispering, "Maybe there's another way to succeed." And that spark was about to change his entire life. Part 2. The Shift in Mindset. That night, Ryan sat alone in his small study room, the soft light of his desk lamp spreading across his notes. The house was quiet. Everyone else was asleep, but his mind was wide awake. His teacher's words kept echoing in his head. Stop chasing the result. Start loving the process. He repeated it to himself again and again, trying to understand. What did it mean to love the process? All his life, he had been told that success was about getting high marks, about winning, about being first. Nobody had ever told him to enjoy the journey. Nobody had ever said that the process itself was more important than the result. As he sat there, he realized something simple yet powerful. When you only study for the result, your mind feels pressure. But when you study for growth, your mind feels peace. So the next morning, Ryan decided to try something different. Instead of forcing himself to study for long hours just to finish chapters, he picked one topic and told himself, "I will understand this deeply, no matter how long it takes." For the first time, he stopped looking at the clock. He stopped worrying about how much he had left to do. He just focused on learning. When he didn't understand something, he didn't get frustrated like before. Instead, he became curious. He started asking why and how, not because it would appear in the exam, but because he truly wanted to know. Slowly, something magical started to happen. Ryan began to enjoy studying. The same books that once felt heavy now felt like doors to discovery. The same subjects that used to scare him started to make sense. And every time he understood a new concept, he felt a small spark of pride. A quiet kind of happiness that didn't depend on anyone's approval. He stopped comparing himself to others. He no longer looked at his friends' marks or their ranks. Instead, he began comparing his today with his yesterday. He started to see small improvements, clearer notes, stronger understanding, more confidence. And then he realized a powerful truth. When your focus changes from result to growth, your entire life begins to transform. Because success is not something you chase, it's something you attract by becoming better each day. Part 3. The Truth About Success. Let me tell you a secret, my brilliant students. Every successful person you admire today, athletes, scientists, YouTubers, artists, or business leaders, all of them started exactly like Ryan. They were not born confident, not born talented, and not born lucky. They were ordinary people with extraordinary consistency. Think about it. When Michael Jordan missed hundreds of shots, he didn't quit. He didn't cry over failure. He went back to the court and practiced harder. When Thomas Edison's experiments failed over 1,000 times, he didn't lose faith. Instead, he famously said, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways that don't work." What do these legends have in common? They focused on effort, not outcome. They didn't chase success. They built habits that created success naturally. Success, my students, is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. It's what you do every day when no one is watching. It's how you choose to get back up when you fall. When you focus only on results, you'll be happy today and broken tomorrow. But when you focus on growth, you'll be strong forever. Think of great YouTubers. They didn't get millions of views on their first video. Think of athletes. They didn't win their first match. Think of scientists. They didn't discover anything overnight. They all had days of doubt, failure, and frustration. But instead of giving up, they trusted the process. And here's the truth most people don't understand. Success is not a destination. It's a direction. When you keep walking in the right direction, learning, improving, staying consistent, success has no choice but to meet you on the way. So, don't wait for success to find you. Focus on growing into the kind of person success wants to find. Because when you stop chasing the result and start chasing improvement, the result will start chasing you. Part 4. Why focusing on results destroys progress. Let's be honest, we all love results. We love the feeling of seeing good grades, hearing people praise us, or getting that perfect achievement. It feels amazing, doesn't it? But here's the hidden danger. When we make results our only goal, we stop enjoying the journey that leads us there. When your eyes are always on the finish line, you forget to enjoy the run. You forget to appreciate how far you've already come. And worst of all, you start to fear failure. When Ryan used to study only for marks, every mistake felt like a disaster. One wrong answer made him feel like a failure. But when he changed his focus, mistakes became his teachers. Every wrong answer became a clue. Every failure became feedback. Think of it like planting a seed. If you plant it today and dig it up every morning to see if it has grown, what will happen? You'll kill it. You won't let it grow. Growth takes time, and time demands patience. Your dreams are the same. They are seeds. If you keep checking every day to see, has it worked yet? Am I successful yet? You'll destroy your peace. You'll lose your motivation. The real winners in life understand this. They don't measure progress by visible results. They measure it by invisible effort, by how much stronger, wiser, and more disciplined they've become. So, stop checking your results every day. Stop worrying about how far others have gone. Focus on watering your own seed, your habits, your mindset, your consistency. Because one day, without warning, you'll look back and realize all those quiet efforts, all those patient days, all those hours when no one was watching, they were building the version of you that can handle success. And when that day comes, you'll thank yourself for not giving up when things seemed slow. Part 5. The Power of Daily Action. After Ryan changed his mindset, he made a promise to himself. No matter what happens, I'll study 1 hour with full focus every day. No excuses. It wasn't a big plan. It wasn't about finishing the syllabus or getting a perfect score. It was just one small, consistent promise. At first, it was hard. There were distractions, friends calling, social media notifications, laziness creeping in. But Ryan stayed true to his word. Even on the days when he didn't feel like studying, he told himself, I'll just start with 10 minutes. And something interesting happened. 10 minutes turned into 20. 20 turned into an hour. The act of showing up every day built a rhythm, a flow that made learning easier. His concentration improved. His memory became sharper. His handwriting neater. His understanding deeper. He started enjoying the satisfaction that comes from consistency, the quiet confidence of knowing, I am improving, even if it's slow. When exam season arrived, Ryan felt calm. He didn't panic. He didn't say, I must get 90 marks. Instead, he said, I've done my best every day. The result will take care of itself. And guess what? He scored the highest marks of his life. But here's the most beautiful part. He didn't feel proud because of the marks. He felt proud because he had kept his promise. He had become disciplined, consistent, focused. He had learned the greatest lesson of all. Success doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency. You don't need to do everything in one day. You just need to do something every day. Because daily effort, even small, is more powerful than big effort once in a while. So, my students, remember this. Success is not built in a day. It's built daily. Your small habits today will become your greatest strength tomorrow. And when you learn to respect the process, the result will respect you back. Part 6. The Science Behind It. There's a reason why Ryan's life began to change when he shifted his focus from results to growth. And science can explain it. Psychologists call it the growth mindset. It's a simple but life-changing belief that your abilities, intelligence, and skills are not fixed. They can grow with effort and practice. It means that you are not stuck with the mind you have now. You can literally rewire your brain by how you think and act. When you tell yourself, "I can learn this if I try," your brain starts creating new connections. Every time you face a challenge and don't give up, your brain grows stronger, just like a muscle. Scientists call this process neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and adapt through experience. Let's take an example. Imagine two students facing a difficult English lesson. One says, "I can't do this, it's too hard." The other says, "This is difficult, but I'll figure it out." Who do you think improves faster? The second one. Why? Because their brain stays open to learning. The first student's brain shuts down under fear and self-doubt. That's the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset says, "I'm either good at something or I'm not." A growth mindset says, "I can become good at anything if I keep trying." When you believe your ability is fixed, you stop trying as soon as things get hard. But when you believe you can grow, you start to see effort as progress. You stop fearing mistakes. You start learning from them. Ryan began to experience this change. He stopped saying, "I can't do math," and started saying, "I'll learn math one step at a time." And slowly, the subject that once scared him became the one he started to enjoy. So, my brilliant students, remember this. Your brain is not a wall. It's a garden. Every time you study, practice, or think positively, you plant new seeds of intelligence. And when you keep watering those seeds with effort, they bloom into skills, confidence, and success. So from today, whenever you feel like saying, "I can't," replace it with, "I can learn." That single thought can change your future. Because the truth is, champions are not born. They are trained by a growth mindset. Part 7. Lessons from the Real World. Now let's step out of Ryan's story for a moment and look at the real world. You'll see that every person who ever achieved something great lived by the same principle: progress over perfection. Think of the greatest athletes. They don't win every match. They miss shots. They make mistakes. But what sets them apart is that they never stop improving. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every mistake becomes motivation. Think of Serena Williams, one of the greatest tennis players of all time. She once said, "Every loss teaches me something new. That's why I never really lose." That's the attitude of a champion, to see learning even inside failure. Now think of singers, actors, and performers. Do they always get it right on the first try? Of course not. Behind every beautiful performance are hours of practice, voice cracks, and forgotten lines. They fail privately so they can succeed publicly. And entrepreneurs? They don't succeed with every business idea. In fact, most successful business owners failed multiple times before building something great. Walt Disney was once told he lacked imagination. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, was rejected by 12 publishers. But none of them stopped. They learned, adapted, and improved. So, my students, the next time you fail a test, don't cry. The next time you forget a word in English, don't quit. The next time your work goes unnoticed, don't stop. Every small effort is building your future silently. Success is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it looks like failure. Sometimes it looks like waiting. But underneath it all, progress is happening. Every time you choose to try again, you build character. Every time you keep learning despite disappointment, you build strength. Every time you fall but rise again, you build the foundation for greatness. So, measure your life not by the results you see, but by the effort you give. Because results can change, but effort builds who you become. Part 8. A lesson from nature. Now, I want you to imagine something simple. A bamboo plant. Have you ever seen one grow? It's one of nature's most inspiring teachers. When you plant a bamboo seed and water it every day, nothing happens for the first year. You continue watering, waiting, and hoping. The second year, still nothing. Third year, nothing. Fourth year, nothing. Fifth year, still nothing. At this point, most people would give up. They'd think the seed is dead. But here's the truth. All that time, something incredible was happening underground. The bamboo was growing deep, powerful roots, building a foundation strong enough to hold something great. And then, suddenly, in the 6th year, the bamboo shoots up, 80 feet high in just a few weeks. Did it grow 80 feet in 6 weeks? No, it grew 80 feet in 6 years. The roots were just doing the invisible work first. Your journey is exactly like that bamboo. You might not see results yet, but that doesn't mean you're not growing. Every day you study, practice, or stay disciplined, your roots, your skills, patience, and confidence are getting stronger. But most people quit during those first 5 years. They stop just before the growth happens. Don't be one of them. Be like bamboo. Stay patient, stay grounded, and trust your roots. Because success doesn't happen suddenly. It happens silently. It's the invisible effort that creates visible results. So, the next time you feel like your progress is slow, remember the bamboo. It's not that you're not growing. You're just growing underground. Your time will come, and when it does, your growth will surprise everyone, even yourself. Keep nurturing your roots, my brilliant students, because when you stay consistent, your success will one day shoot up so high that the whole world will look up and say, "Wow, where did that come from?" And you'll know the truth. It came from years of patience, effort, and faith in the process. Part 9. How to stop focusing on results. So how do we actually stop obsessing over results and start enjoying the journey? It's not about ignoring goals. It's about learning how to grow without being trapped by numbers or marks. Here are 3 powerful steps you can start using today. Step 1. Focus on small wins. Most students make the mistake of waiting for big victories, the high marks, the trophies, the applause. But success doesn't appear suddenly. It grows through tiny moments of progress. If you studied for 30 minutes today, that's a win. If you learned a single new word in English, that's a win. If you understood one grammar rule that confused you yesterday, that's another win. Every small win builds momentum. It strengthens your confidence and reminds you that improvement is happening, even if it's slow. Just like climbing a mountain, you don't jump to the top. You take one step at a time. Each step, no matter how small, takes you higher. So, celebrate progress, not perfection. Write down your daily achievements, even the tiny ones. Because when you start seeing how far you've come, you'll stop worrying about how far you still have to go. Step 2. Track effort, not results. Results are often out of your control, but effort always is. Instead of saying, "I want 90 marks," say, "I'll study one chapter every day." Instead of saying, "I want to speak English fluently," say, "I'll practice 10 minutes every morning." You can't control how fast fluency comes, but you can control how much time you give. And here's the secret. When you focus on effort, results come naturally. Because consistent effort builds habits. Habits create mastery. Mastery produces success. So from today, measure your effort, not your grades. Ask yourself at the end of each day, did I give my best effort today? If the answer is yes, then you are already winning. Step 3. Fall in love with learning. When you enjoy learning, motivation becomes effortless. You stop counting the hours because you're too busy enjoying the process. Learn not just to pass exams, but to grow as a thinker, a communicator, and a person. Enjoy discovering new ideas, new words, and new ways to express yourself. The students who fall in love with learning never stop improving, because their joy fuels their discipline. So, my brilliant students, from today, celebrate small wins, track effort, and love the process. Because success is not something you chase. It's something you become through daily growth. Part 10. The Turning Point. Months later, something incredible happened in Ryan's life. His teacher, who had once seen a shy and uncertain boy, noticed something different about him. He no longer sat in the last row. He raised his hand in class, smiled more, and helped others with their lessons. One day after class, the teacher said gently, "Ryan, you've changed so much." "What happened?" Ryan smiled. Not the nervous smile he used to hide behind, but a confident one filled with peace. He said, "I stopped trying to be perfect. I started trying to be better." That one sentence holds the secret to every success story in the world. Perfection is a trap. It makes you afraid to start. It makes you scared to make mistakes. It makes you believe that if you're not the best, you're not good enough. But progress is different. Progress gives you power. Progress is not about being flawless. It's about being fearless. When Ryan focused on being better than yesterday, he stopped comparing himself with others. He began competing only with his past self. His grades improved, yes, but more importantly, his mindset transformed. He became someone who believed in growth. This is the real turning point for every learner. When you realize that perfection is not the goal, improvement is. Every step forward, no matter how small, matters. Because one day, those steps become the path to your success. So, my students, remember Ryan's words. Don't try to be perfect. Just try to be better. Don't aim to impress. Aim to progress. Because perfection is temporary, but growth lasts forever. Part 11. Your journey starts now. And now, my brilliant students, we arrive at the most powerful truth of all. Your journey starts right now. You don't have to wait for motivation. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is already here. Because you are here, ready to grow. Every great journey begins not with confidence, but with a choice. The choice to begin, even when you don't feel ready. And I promise you this. Once you start focusing on effort instead of outcome, your whole world will change. Every time you wake up early to study, you grow. Every time you practice English when you could be scrolling your phone, you grow. Every time you keep going despite failure, you grow. And growth never goes unrewarded. Success doesn't come to the most talented. It comes to the most consistent. It comes to the students who keep showing up, even when progress is slow. You already have everything you need to succeed. Your effort, your mindset, your belief. You don't need to be born brilliant. You just need to be willing to learn. So, take a deep breath and start today. Stop waiting for confidence. Build it through action. Stop waiting for results. Create them through effort. This is your moment to rise, to become the version of yourself who never gives up, who grows through challenges, who keeps moving forward no matter what. Because in the end, life doesn't reward those who only dream. It rewards those who act, one small, consistent step at a time. Final message: become unstoppable. Listen carefully, my brilliant students. This is the most important lesson you will ever carry with you. You are not defined by your results. You are not the marks you get, the applause you receive, or the awards you collect. You are defined by your effort, your character, and your consistency. Every small choice you make, every disciplined step you take, shapes who you are becoming. The truth is simple. Results are temporary. They come and go. But who you become in the process, the habits you build, the patience you practice, the courage you develop, lasts forever. This is the real treasure of growth. So, from today, change your mindset. Stop saying, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What can I learn?" Stop thinking, "When will I succeed?" and start thinking, "How can I grow today?" Your focus on learning and improvement is far more powerful than chasing temporary results. And remember, my students, as I always say on English Achieve Students Hub, growth is invisible at first. You might not see it immediately, but one day, when you least expect it, success will knock on your door. Quietly, beautifully, powerfully. It will come not because you chased it desperately, but because you earned it with steady effort, patience, and belief in yourself. So, my brilliant students, remember this forever. Don't focus on the result. Focus on the process. Don't waste your energy comparing yourself to others. Instead, focus on what you are becoming. Because success is not a destination. It's a journey of learning, growing, and showing up every single day. Go out there, give your best. Be patient, consistent, and brave. Celebrate your small wins. Learn from mistakes. Keep improving, no matter how slow it seems. And no matter what happens, never stop growing. Because the student who loves the process and respects effort will always become unstoppable.